right. So we'll be painting the rose, part 2. No, I'm sorry, part 3. And I'll wait for some people to come on. And that's it. Let me see if I can put the volume up. There we go. Okay. Okay, what am I going to work on? Okay. Got a little reflection going on in that picture there. Don't like that. Okay. So this is part 3, and I'm going to still wait for a few more people to come on to get started. I can tell you this much, that I'm using Createx illustration colors. And I'm using Air Todd. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Michael, how you doing? Dan, how are you? Welcome to hopefully the final stage of this rosy rose. So anyway, yeah, the color of this rose. So Createx paints, everybody knows that. Oh, needs to be shook up, but okay. I mixed the colors prior, and I'll be using probably some transparents also. So we have Frisket on here still, not in here. Little tiny piece in here where that yellow is. So then this is yellow. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the lighter colors first to get this going. JC, hello there. Hello, welcome guys. How's the volume? Is the volume okay? And I also would like to know, is this shining from the light? When I move myself over, I see a glow. So just let me know if that's shining, because if it is, I've got to do something about it. Yeah, I'm seeing the glow. Okay, I'm just gonna whatever it. Okay, let's get this out of here. Yep. So that's some kind of a yellow leaf of sorts. And I had it all frisketed out last week in the early part of part 2, and I took it all off and started using paper shields and softer look, where you could spray through openings like this. So that's what I'm going to do. Continue on. Let me just put a little bit of the yellow in here for now, and then we'll go from there. So let's see. Stuart, hello. Good day. Good day. Trying to say it with an accent. I'm not very good at it. Good day, mate. Good day. All right, so I do use a little paintbrush to stir the paint a little bit. I woke this paint up. When I mean that, it almost was dried up. And I came to it with the 4021 yesterday and stirred it, and there it was. It woke up like watercolor. When I mean woke up, I basically mean it became paint that I could still use. This is from 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I do have my new needle. So I did that yesterday or the day before. Just looking for one more thing here. Yeah, it was so nice to have the wrench or the tool, to have this tool that Iwata makes. That, pull it back here, and it looks like that. And it took the little nozzle, which basically, this is the old one. The old one's not ruined, so everything's out of focus. They're tiny. You put them in your fingers and you can't maneuver. So I finally said, hey, get one of these. So you just sit it in there and you bring the gun in and boom, it holds it, it screws back in, and you snug it a little bit. And then I use the Iwata, it's a Medea thread sealer. It's like a beeswax, bee balm. Okay, again, it's out of focus. It's kind of like the chapstick, right? And you just bring it up and you rub it around the, you put a little bit on the head assembly as you put it back in, and it's just sealing it. So I tested the gun before, and it was better than the old needle and the old nozzle. I can't say it was 1,000% better, but it was definitely tighter. And probably the more I use it, you get used to, when you sharpen air, you get used to the needle. It can only take so many hits, right? And then this stupid thing, it can only take so much, and then it's going to get kind of not function. So I'm going to go in here with the micron, and I'm just going to lay in. I'm going to make sure that that is out of there. The little piece over here. Yeah, it's out. Pretty sure it's out. Yep, that's the clay board. That's scratching up there. Okay, so I have to be a little careful in here when I get up there. So what I think I'll do is I have the Deltec purple tape that's see-through. And I'll just put a little bit on here. I'm going to get rid of that little, oh, that's the frisket protecting, that's protecting the top of the stem. So I think I'll just move that out of the way. I'll put this on here. Maybe I'll go a little bit, let's see, somewhere in there. The less that I have to do, like I don't need to cut deeper than I need. So new blade, and we're just gonna go along there. I don't even know what that's doing there, but I just want to protect the rows a little bit. And I went off there a smidge, but that's way over there. Okay, so this tape can go onto paper, as I showed in other videos, and it doesn't tear paper. So like if you're putting it on a piece of copy paper, it doesn't rip the paper at all, and you can reuse it. So it's a very excellent tape. It's just, Frisket would have torn that right to pieces. All right, so for the sake of off to the side here, I'm going to put a little practice piece behind here. It's probably off camera, but that's all right. I am going to just test the gun, okay? And I'm going to go in here. Oh, that reflection. That's driving me crazy. Okay, let me see something here. Too dark. Color correct lighting. I don't know why that's doing that. Maybe the position of the, I don't know, different angles. The light's never usually hitting that. Okay, so the whole thing basically is the yellow. Need a little more. I have a art tool cutting mat, and just for a nicer contrast, I'm using the white poster board behind it, and I'm just going to take some white tape and just tape down the piece that's moving at the bottom there. It's off to the side, but otherwise everything will move around. Okay, so I love the white tape too. This is console tape, or the same. I buy this from actually Sweetwater, which is musical instruments, guitars, drums. Um, because I bought equipment there years ago, I saw them online, and this is the same tape as an artist tape. So that would say artist tape. And yeah, it's good for water. It's like a plasticky. It can get wet. And I've even used it around my air conditioner, just a little piece, here and there to, seal it off. So this I'm going to just kind of freehand in. So the color is pretty much mixed already. I think we'll get rid of some of those pencil lines. I should. But yeah, the tool, that little tool there, is so valuable for changing the nozzles, and I've done it where over the years all the time, just by holding it and dropping it and losing it on the floor and so on and so forth. Forget it. Watch out for the spring jumping out. Well, when you're using it in that area, are you talking about for down in here? Because I've had that happen. The spring, yeah, that will go, and it's so tiny. And I have the soft spring in here. Are you talking about that, Michael? Because I used it obviously here, but I didn't realize, yeah, you can use it. I used to use like needle nose pliers to turn that, but you're right. Hey, Patty, how are you doing? Okay, so you're right, though. The parts can go flying. I mean, I had an x-acto blade today go on the floor. I was trying to put it in, and I didn't have it open enough, and it hit the floor. And I couldn't find it. That's not good. But I came in with the broom, started sweeping a little bit, and later on, there it was on the floor. So I don't know if I kicked it or whatever, but it didn't get cut. And I'm still here to do the live stream. So where's my eraser? I need the aggressive. I'm going to just take the pencil lines out. It's representing where the green is, and I can see where the green is, so I surely don't need that for a guide. Might as well erase it all the way out clean. It's a beautiful little, I guess it's part of the flower, but I don't know. I don't know what that is. I took this picture with a 5100 Nikon back in 2012. And I went out hunting. It was really fun. You go out at the golden hour and you just look for things to take pictures of using the sunlight, and the sunlight comes through the flower. And that's the grass, the sky, probably clouds. That's a thick area of woods, and the greenery from the trees, the darker and the lighter, beautiful grass in that. That was a retirement place that we lived at. So, welcome everybody on here, and hello there, Isabelli. How are you? Okay, whoops, that's my hand blocking the camera there. Okay, so we can zoom in a little bit. I mean, I'm going to get in here. I've learned that this zoom works now. So we'll just do that for now. Okay. I'm looking for a pencil that writes. Note to self, get one that writes. Just give me a second, and I will will be right with you. Okay, so my Micron is all charged up. It's got the new needle, new nozzle, brand new needle, no sharpen air or anything for it. Okay, so the lines are gone and it's time. I should pin that down. So the blue tape is, purple tape, whatever you want to call it, is really good. This has a lot more stick on it, so, you know, I grabbed it, but I can hold down that little corner there. All kinds of colors now, right? Look at that blue. Okay, so let's get busy here. JC. Okay. Okay. I just said okay twice. Okay? I'm noticing when I take this off, I'm going to kind of stay a little away from that. There's that yellow, and it's pretty accurate. So I can spray it in pretty much over itself. Let it dry a little bit of air. I'll put the volume up so you can hear that. Okay, so we've got the yellow, second coating it. I'm just painting the whole thing. And it's not out of the bottle, believe me. That is a mixed color. Air dry it. It's an opaque paint and it's a base. It's a base color for me. So we'll just let that dry. Now I'll turn down the air, the volume. And now, yeah, go from there. I just hit a wet spot. Not good. Right back there. This probably, yellow doesn't wipe off on the frisket as nice, I don't think. So, we got that. That's frisket. That's going to be the thorns. I did not get to mix this color today because of a doctor appointment, but I've got things to do on the rose, and I might use what they call shoot from the hip and just do it, mix it like Steve would do it and stuff, instead of, you know, sitting there trying to find the exact color. Just kind of do it, just freehand it and add it in. Okay, so that's good. Now, I'm going to take that yellow for a minute, and I'm going to just put a little bit on here. This is just playing with colors that are already a base, and it already did something there that I'm kind of seeing there. So now I'm stepping away from exact mixtures, and I'm having a little fun with the transparent. That's right. Well, I'm treating it like a transparent. The yellow is opaque, but having said that, if you spray it light enough, you can get kind of a transparent feel. It's kind of pink over there. I'm looking, I'm seeing a little in here. Just making more variety, a little more interesting looking over here, a little bit kind of orangey. And now that we're getting up near the rose more, we're gonna do that, the flowery part. Okay, so let's get into let's get into this area. This is pretty dark. It gets darker there. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take my dark color, which is red, cobalt blue, burnt umber black, and white, and I'm gonna just look for some little shading, a little this. I'm talking using it subtly. So I hate wasting all the yellow out of here, but it's in the gun. You can't, there's not enough to pour out. But if you saw what just came out on the paper, it's like, it feels like you're really wasting it. I don't care if the airbrush is a little bit of color in there, because going right to the darkest, I'm calling it like a burgundy color. Okay, so where do I see this? I'm going to test an area. I could be wrong. So let me just see. I could be wrong using this color, but I'm going to try it. If I'm wrong, I'm going to just whisper the most small amount. Okay, where am I? Okay, so I've got, oh yeah, okay, so I can line it up on that, and then I can kind of push it off this way a little more. I got to get the top up higher. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to not worry about the highlight. I'm going to use some paint for highlights. I'm just going to dust this in for a minute. It's a fold of a leaf. Yeah, it's working, but I got to do it again. So we want to go up a little higher now that I have a registration there. Going a little bit on the tilt there. So let me just put it on and then tilt it even more. There we go. Okay. So it's a little redder in the picture, so I got to be careful with this color. It is darker there, so I can probably use the French curve, the miniature one, and be very careful. I have to watch out for the little holes. I'll use this purple tape. They have the little holes on there for extra details that you can put in things. Oops, that's not good enough. Go a little lower. Now I can come in here like this, and I can just hit the top. It's a feel kind of thing. I know I'm running around 20 some pounds, maybe 25. I'm not sure. My glass gauge, plastic gauge is my next purchase. It's not, it's all fogged out. That's good. That worked out perfect. Okay. That is too dark there a little bit, but I can correct that. Okay, so let's go down here. Are we happy with that area? So, pretty good. I don't want to really get too much darker. I'm going to freehand it a little bit right here. Leave it like that, and maybe just fog it in here, connect it right there, right there. It's really dark in there, so do I have that cut out? I know I do on another one. Let me just look and see before I start cutting out more than I have to. Okay. That was the original. This was the one that I used to draw it down onto the clay board. This is 3/16 clay board with masonite for backing, and the clay is on the board. And I chose to use that as opposed to the synthetic paper this time, Blair's airbrush paper, because of my heavy-handed cutting. You know, you cut into the vinyl, cut into the synthetic paper. I've done that. I've cut into the clay board a little bit on this painting, but I sanded it out with 1000 grit sandpaper. Okay, so that's redder in there. I see a little shape. I'm going to try to use a paintbrush for a minute. Seeing a little shape here that it might be easier if I kind of come at it with the paintbrush. Little curly Q area of twists and turns of the little petal down here. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to just kind of see what happens. It's going to work. Now it goes I'll go in here and back out, kind of make it a little more like the picture. That's good. And this one has, where is that thing? There's the yellow. This has a nice little outline around it, but it doesn't make sense, I think. Yeah, I did it a little different than the photo. So I'll just put this little guy right here, and I'll just bring that edge to a point right there. And I'll cut it off here like that. Okay, so that's another green, a green dude. Then there's going to be this hard edge, and then this guy. I'll put more paint on it. I'm just using this for tiny little areas that I don't feel like cutting out those little shapes. And where you start to lose that airbrush look, you just go back freehand, and you have to blend over that so that it gets pretty dark in there. It'll cut across here. But I'm not going to fill that in with a paintbrush. It starts looking ugly, you know. I'm going to put the fan on overhead. Watch it blow around. Okay. So I have distilled water. I keep, the sink is in the garage. So I keep an old water airbrush cleaner bottle that one of my students gave me, and I have a little distilled water in this thing here, and it's an easy way to not have to step out to the garage. I like to use the distilled water. Now I'm going to get the brush. Paintbrush is going to sit in there, but as all artists should know, the paintbrush is going to sit like that because it's a pointed brush, and you do not want to let it sit on its nice point. It'll bend or it'll hook. I had more paintbrushes ruined by students, and especially the kids back in the day when I had the school, because they didn't take care of the brushes at all. Even though I would tell them, say, hey guys, we had a slop sink, we had everything we needed. Ah, I see this is going to do this, and then it's going to go up here, so I need the brush again. Just blend that darkness right into there. That's red, so I'm going to stay off that shape for a minute. So if you were painting like oils or something, you would just dip into the redder mixture for the piece that's looking, I can't really show you because the other one is covered. Okay. So, actually, I can show you in a minute. Let's see. I'm going to go back down in here, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to put it right there. Yeah, little interesting shapes. Okay, now I'm going to take the airbrush, and I'm going to put the color in the gun. Now I'm going to just melt that paintbrush work in with the airbrush. Except you got that tip dry. wow, if you don't have the right air, I gotta put some 40, I gotta put a drop or two of 4021 in there. Here it is. Big arm coming across. So I'm just gonna add like 2 drops maybe. I can even stir it. Hopefully that will be enough. Hopefully. All right. Yeah, that moved it much better. Yeah, it's great for mixing. The distilled water is, you really, like with the watercolor world, when I was teaching all kinds of, acrylics, watercolor, the distilled water is the only way to go. And if you go on YouTube, you'd find out, it's the best for the brushes, it's the best for everything. Okay. So this is kind of green. I'm going to second coat that. It's dark. Oops, it spidered out on me. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water. All I'm doing here, and you're not going to probably see anything really, is I'm melting the airbrush and the paint together to get that edge melted in. That's what's great about the airbrush. But what I do there, sprayed around the whole thing. Okay. But that does have shading in there, so I'm going to kind of speed up my movement and get a little feather stroke in there. And maybe pull this out this way a little more. Keep looking at it because you can ruin it very easily, obviously. So where there's a sharper edge, you really want to get it, and I would like to get that right there. So what I'm going to do is the purple tape. And where is it? Up here. I know I worked on this. Oh, I can't see through it up there. Okay, that ain't going to work. A worn out piece of Frisket that has so much glue removed from it, it will work. It will work. And I could tell that the blade is not doing its thing. It doesn't have any friction. I can feel it. So it's time for a new blade. This is what I did before. I was trying to put the blade in, and I didn't have it open enough, and it shot out of my hand, I guess, and that was that. So we're going to get this and just do the same thing right there. I'm going to cut that same cut. And then I'm going to open it up. Actually, I'm going to go above it a little bit. Let me see something here. When you start making too many cuts, it's not going to work. And that's what I just did. Okay, so piece will still work. I'm just going to put it this way. And now I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to just, I got to just look over the top of it and follow the line. Brand new blade. That's the fan knocking over the core, the board that has the core in it, whatever they call it, foam core. That's going to only fall again, so let me tilt it more. That's all I really need. I just see an edge there, but there's not an edge on the bottom. It's an edge, but it's not. So now you just pull it, leave the knife down and pull. And just catch that edge. Spray mostly on the film. Little scratch in there, but it didn't cut into the board. But that's okay. The other color can come down. Okay. What's that? A spatter. The blade already has the tip missing. Crazy. Let me just see if I can erase some of this off here. Probably not. That's giving a little highlight there. Like in here. This would be great if I didn't have such a fat point there. I'm just going to try it. It is this frisket I'm going on to here. Bit fat, so I can come at it with either background color, or I can come at it with this color, the petal. Just trying it on the one, and we'll do it on this one too a little bit. Going back down to the white of the board, and I'll try it here a little. Might be a little too harsh here. Yeah, it's kind of harsh there. So the other answer to that would be using correction color for softness. Yeah, see, it gets to be too harsh, and then it doesn't look good. The airbrush look goes away. Try this one. Okay, so let's get burgundy red on there, just in that area. Okay, a little bit on the tip. Do I have any in the gun? Yeah, just a little bit on that tip. Okay. Dang. Where is that? Where is it? I'm looking at that. That's right there. Too big. Another stencil. The shape is too big. Get into oh, I see what it's doing. Okay. So it's really going this way. Turn the corner. Subtleties, right? Little subtleties. Maybe that one. There we go. Nope. That's kind of not exactly it. It's because there's a little curve there. Freehand. Not much. I'm not trying to add too much to that. I see this color on here, so I'm just going to pull this down. It is green over to that side. The actual bulby area of that. So I'm going to come in here. That's too speckly. Okay. Needs more reducer. I might have added some base to that, and then this is going to be very tricky because it already spidered on me once. But we'll stir it up good. We'll go from there. Okay. So Got this going on, and I put 4021 in there, and hopefully you get a lot more flow. Yeah, now all the atomization is better, and the freehand skills can come out better. Where am I going? Right here. It's kind of spherical, so it'll do kind of like a roundness here. I'm just kind of freehanded in, and that's it. Aim it out, away from the yellow. And get that rest of the sphere like working on this side. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. I'm going to just kind of take a chance here. No chance. So I got a little Q-tip. There's a lot of green in this area too, so I'm just going to come up in here real careful. It did go on. It is on the actual yellow, so that worked out good. It's on it right there. And I'll just go that way a little bit. Dry it. That should be pretty good because it's blend into itself. All right, so now I've got to protect. I got to protect this thing better. Just gonna put this over it. Tweezers. Come on, where are you? Oh, it's stuck up there. Okay. I'll just go like that. Sorry for the hand block and everything. I'm trying to get that piece out of there. So it looks like, you know, there's that orange is on the yellow, but it's not. Okay, so it's gonna have a nice green area in there, so it's gonna get very dark right here. Remember, I'm spraying on the film. And the area where it actually is coming down is probably, but I'm going to hold the shield off of here after I find get my frisket out of the way there. I'm going to kind of get a little circular like that and let the shield float a little bit, leaving the room for that green. There's a green in there that's the background color almost, but it's more like that green. Okay. And then it comes down right here. I'm going to just aim up. Yeah, it's very liquidy now. I'll second coat that because it's very dark. I'm going to let these two crash into each other right there. It's even going to be darker than that. It's going to probably have some black just sprayed right over it. And I'll just kind of dust it in there a little bit. Let's see. This is going to be, it's got more brown. So here's where I'm going to kind of wing it. Triscuit's on the outside. That piece is probably history that I just pulled off because it got kind of ratty looking. So I'm going to take some black, this shadow right here, and I'm going to cause, first get this on here so it doesn't spill. I'm going to take the black, put it right in the, well, I'm going to put a little bit of black in. I hate that sticky feeling. Okay, so you guys, I hope you're talking amongst yourself because I'm so focused on this. I'm trying to, this is going to be a very pretty bluish purple right there. And it just stops just like that. So if you look at the photograph, and I'll zoom in, it's beautiful. It's right there. See that blue? Look at that. It's like cobalt. It's like red violet. I see red in there still. So it's like, I'm just going to freehand. I'm not going to worry about mixing. I could mix the exact colors because, you know, I could go in there because there's a reddish color, but I'm going to just wing it. So I need my red now to have weighting, but I need my little blue area to not get ruined. So I'm going to use a little bit of, let's see. What should I use? I don't know if this color from before, what is this from? Oh, this is a sky color. That's that color. Well, from another painting, it's this one. That's not the color. This is the colors. This is the real colors. My painting. The little guy I had printed was not accurate. So let me see if I could use a dusting of this. This might be too gray, but if I spray it light enough, getting rid of the burgundy. If I spray it light enough, I might be able to get at least a base down, and then I can pump it up with some. Once you have the opaque, and it is opaque, once you have even not sprayed 100%, just misting it on. This is making like pretty flowers on this test paper. It's like, it feels like I'm painting tulips or something here. Where is it? It's kind of, you blow up this way, and you get that kind of effect. One way to get rid of your paint. Okay, so. Yeah. Okay. Put that there. A little bit of 40-21 in the airbrush into the cleaning station at a higher volume of paint coming out. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to reduce it. That's the that's that blue. And I'm going to just see how it behaves, just with a little whisper of it. When I mean behave, I mean I'm going to spray. I'll use a demo right here. That's the nice thing about the airbrush, that I just painted that. And it's dry, you know, so you can just put that up there. Okay, so now if I go like that, it's going to look gray and dark. Whoops, where? Oh, I'm over here. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of come in here and tint it. I'll do a larger, like that. Just, nope, you're not seeing it. There we go. Just a base, just to put a little bit of the color in there. Okay. Now that that's there, I'm going to just get a little cobalt blue. I'm thinking cobalt. I can always, it's a small area, I can always come back in and rework it. So, maybe marine blue. Maybe, what is it? Blue violet. Right out of the bottle. I like blue violet. I was making skies with that. And of course, you put your orange in and you get your... Okay, this color will work. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind... I'm going to paint on the frisket. I wouldn't mind kicking that up a little bit. See, like that. So I just did that to that area. Let's pull that out so you can see the real painting. Okay, so what I just did was I just sprayed on the frisket and tested. I'll spray it real intense for a minute. See? But I'm practicing on the frisket because the real color is already on there, but it can at least allow me to test the waters and see, you can wipe it off, and see if I want to make that more intense, which I might. But here we got this color now. And believe me, if I was to block that out and look at it and really zoom in on it, it's going to be another color than what I'm working with. But here's where I'm just winging it. Frisket's on the green. Now I'm going to go into that burgundy color. Whoops, not like, hey, that'll work better than the black. There we go. That'll work better because it's color. The color can make it look prettier. It's all film, different areas. Okay. If I mess up, then you guys get to see it firsthand. Like I said, I'm kind of winging this bottom area. So there's maybe a little blue on the outskirts right here. I could just put it in lightly. And then I'm going to go to my red. Where's my red? Now this is a pretty bright red, or a pinkish. It doesn't even look like it anymore. All right, let's just try it because the swatch is different. Darn it, I forgot to clean the airbrush out, so I just wasted that color. There's a little violet, red violet, right on that spot. There we go. That's what it is, but it's lighter. And it's too liquidy there, so we're going to just... Okay, so now... Get that out of the gun. Because the actual thorns down here are very... This is always fun to do. Let's see. Get this up here. Chase the little lines with the air. I've got antennas. Just have fun messing around with the airbrush. That color is still in there. It's just incredible how just a little bit in the airbrush, even though you can't see it in the cup anymore, is hanging in there too. You know, just be sprayed out still. Distilled water, testing it on a piece of paper. It's still blue coming out, but it's getting lighter and lighter. Okay, so now, again, shooting from the hip, I'm just going to go with, I'm going to go with the burgundy color, but I'm going to spray it so light that it'll maybe give me a little brown look. being that I got the film on there, I might as well try, just if I can. I'm seeing a little pink. This one's white. This one's kind of pinkish, so I'm just going to put that on there. I can base coat it in and then just go to the redder color. There's all cut out frisket. And it's going to come up harsh against the dark color that I'm going to try to put in there. A little paintbrushing. Goes right up to here. That's two. I need it more watery. Nope. Yeah, a little bit's too strong, but that's okay. So a freehand painting kind of thing going on here. Who took my white? This one probably has this color coming out. And these, I don't know how well they're cut, so I might have to go in later and fix them. There's frisket that's cut there, so this one is kind of the pinkish color, but a lot more white in it. So I guess I'll go with looking at that. I'm going to try some burnt umber. If I don't like my results, I can just simply paint this little area over again. But so that wasn't burnt umber, that was still a burgundy color. Now I've got burnt umber. Real subtle, I want to spray it. Yeah, the contrast is being lost, so I have to go back over that highlight. So I'll just put this color in. It's working for me as far as overall color. I'm going to put the volume up on her. That's the green. A little more of this color right here. I'm starting to lose the blue a little bit because it's such a small area. So we'll just put that in like that. And yeah, this blue color has to be more brown. I got carried away there. And I might not be able to make heads or tail of it while this is still on there. So remember, this is covered. So let's get that uncovered. Starts looking crazy when it's all partially covered and you're trying to make sense of it. Okay, zoom. That's got a flexible arm on my camera. That should be good enough. Okay, so this green, this yellow's in there too. Time for a little freehand, maybe? No, I don't feel like it. No, I should, but I'm just gonna try to base it in, at least for right now, with a brush. Lots of water. There's still water on it. Now I want to just kind of take some of that paint off with just no paint on the brush. Kind of dry brushing it a little bit. But it went where I wanted it. That's the main thing. Okay, that's in there. Then I see there's going to be some really nice little highlights that are in here. Can airbrush them. They're actually more fuzzier than that, so I'm going to airbrush them. Okay. Now I'm not going to come in here with a paintbrush and do the highlights because that's not going to work. It's going to look too acrylic-y, kind of abstract-y, just a little bit. Okay, so I got carried away with the blue. So I'm going to hit the blue with some orange. This is really just using transparent thinking, you know. The blue is the opposite of orange. So when I'm mixing my colors, I could say, oh, that's too, you know, it needs more orange in it because the orange, it's too blue. So the orange will gray down the orange will gray down the blue, or vice versa. Depends on the amount you're making. So if I had a lot of orange and I was painting a cardinal or something and some of the orange feathers, orange-red feathers, I would put a little green in the red because using red out of the bottle, you're going to have a really, you know, saturated painting. But when you're putting the orange on top, this is kind of mixing on the painting, but let's see what happens. If anything, it will go more brown, which I could use. A little orange in the middle there. Remember, that's frisket, so we won't count that. And it's going brown. It's going where I want it. Let's put some of that orange on the stem. I'll put the highlights in later. Got a whole bunch of different colors on that stem. Okay. So I would like to see a little bit of where I'm at. So I'm going to kind of come in here and see if anything good is happening. Is and it isn't. But it will be fine because I said so. No, it will be fine because it's a back and forth. You got the green, which I still have, and then I want to come in with that real strong highlight, which I could show with the brush, but I'll probably, let me just get a little bit. So I've got the paint, a little drop of water. I've got some white on, it's on a piece of paper actually. It's kind of stupid. I should be using my palette, but I'm just gonna overkill this for a minute. It should be watery enough to at least separate the edges to help it. You know, then you can go back in with some red and orange. Red and orange, when you're making like a pink, get that orange into that color. You know, don't go white and red. Just go red, orange, and white. Just for controlling the pink so it doesn't go too pink. I don't know if this is light enough. We're going to find out. Nope, nowhere's near it. So it's getting really pink. Now I'm going to put orange in it. But now it's going too orange. I'm talking about on the palette there on the side. So now let's try this. I'm going to lighten up. I planned on spraying these, but this is freehand now. So you see a couple different styles on this. It's the contrast later that's going to make them look like they're going through, the sunlight's going through it. So get the palette, Bill. What am I doing? You don't mix colors on a piece of paper. It absorbs it so quickly. What am I doing? All right, what do we got here? Oh, well, that's encouraging. Thank you. Color Graphics, appreciate the compliment. Trying my best. Had a rough day. Always hard to do something when you have a rough day, right? This is going to be a redder color. Whoops, I'm forgetting there's no frisket on there anymore. But I'm not worried either because you could do it a couple ways. You could come at it with I could come back at it with the blade and take them out. So let's get a little highlight color mixed up and just start playing with some highlights in the painting. This is protected. That's protected. It's going to have a green, kind of emeraldy kind of green. Or I could use the hot t-shirt fluorescent and ruin the whole thing. That's all my t-shirt stuff. When I decided to really focus on fine art, and I don't miss this too much because it was my throat, and so this would be the t-shirt gun, the siphon feed. That's called Big Mouth. And you're out in the garage, you know, and you're doing t-shirts, and it's really cool because it's absorbent like a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. So you really can put some 60, 80 pounds of air on there and fire it in, lettering and all that stuff. But my throat with the wicked paints was getting a dry throat. It was getting very bad for a while there. I just couldn't, you know, couldn't do it. Okay, so what would be good to do? Oh yeah, the highlight. I want to see, first of all, if I still have my color. That would be called number 9. I don't see it. I'm looking for a color I mixed, but I'm not seeing it. And that's pretty, oh wait. There it is. That's the red, the reddest. It looks dark because I'm tilting it. So that has red in it. It has orange in it. So right away, when I started mixing, I started with, depending on how dark, let's look at that. Pretty dried up, isn't it? I ain't gonna get too far with that. Yeah, so, where's my lid again? It just went flying. So the red, for realistic colors, so the red, orange, that controls the red, you know, it's red and white will just, there's white in there, and it has dots on there, so you can see, maybe you can see. But it's got yellow, kick up things, you know. It's got magenta, red, violet, moss green. The green is the opposite of red, and viridian green. And I found my color by exploring, and not that you can get into the Blair color theory thing, and you'll be traveling around that color wheel, and you'll be traveling all around it in different ways you can't imagine, and you'll be finding colors. But like I said, I do not teach that part of my mixing to get more accurate colors, because first of all, Drew is the expert, and second of all, it takes a lot of time. Then you get a little better at it, and then you get results. So see, I'm waking that up a little bit, but not enough to do anything spectacular. So let's see, what am I going to do here? I wouldn't mind having, what, let's see, I could get into 11, that's down at the bottom, 10, 8, where was 8? I'm looking at my other thing here and seeing where I use different colors. 8 was kind of in here. I think I can get away with that color. Possibly to tint and bring some of the flower color back to that highlight. So let's try that first. So it's kind of thick, and I'm going to try to show you at the back end of the airbrush, it's thick, gooey paint that really needs a little bit of the reducer, and then it needs a nice paintbrush to get in there and stir it and see how thick it is. There's a lot of paint there. I don't know if you could see that, but it's a lot of paint. And that basically, now if I spray it in the wrong spot, if I go on to the other red, I'll get a color shift of sorts, and that won't be nice. So I want to try to bring wherever I have that color up to the edge more. I'll see how it goes. So I hope all your painting is going wonderfully, and it can get frustrating, right? Especially when a mistake starts happening and you got to fix it. You're on your own, right? This could probably help this area a little. Color shift, but it softens it. So let's see what happens when the true color comes out. Okay, let's see what happens here. I'm going to try to get closer to the edge. First, I'll tint that highlight. Nope, it's not. Hold on. don't want to get overkill. I want to put this is much lighter here. Hopefully it will work. Sunlight coming through, making the rose look pink in some areas. Okay, this is kind of tricky. I would say freehand here. So I got the hard edge for a few minutes right here on the film, right there. Now I gotta get that down, and I gotta try to bring that highlight right here. Back and forth, so there's a hard edge here, but it's a nice color. Tip dry. Whoops, missed. It's fat at the bottom like that, but I have to come back. I have to come back and cut in and make that flower color come back. But that could be my choice of highlights. We'll try it right here. Now you're not seeing it because I'm really crazy, getting that onto the film and blocking it. So let's walk some of this onto there and light up the inside of that one and see how that looks when we peel away the frisket later. I'm going to just tint this a little bit just to knock it back a little bit. Remember, it's protected. But it's too fat, so I got to bring the other color in. Definitely too fat. That will be a nicer highlight because it's soft, but that's too fat still, that one. In here, what would be a good, probably already have a thing, but let me try this right there. Get that, get this softer, and harder edge, because if they're different petals behind petals, you gotta capture that. Up too round, right there. See that comes through, and then we can go a little bit rounder there. Yeah, right there. Showing off that one better. It's back and forth kind of thing too. Coming back at it with the other colors. I'm spraying on the film here because that's just an erased mark that doesn't look good. It needs to be soft and airbrush looking. What I don't like is this hitting the paper, the painting, like this is crashing into the painting. That has film on it, so you're getting real close and you're trying to do your thing, and all of a sudden you're playing the drums. Let's try this. I'm going to get more air, more volume to force that onto the edge of that a little better. Close, but staying mostly on the frisket. highlight in there, changing some things. Strong there, too strong there. Okay, so I got to watch out. Too strong. It's a highlight color. All right, so sometimes you have to get this out of the way because I have to go back in with the green and I have to soften the edges of this mean old frisket. So let's see what we got. I'm not going to worry. I could save it by going like, where's my x-acto? I could go like this and not touch the board and just cut a nice cut like right there. And I could save this off to the side if I want to try to put it back on. Because after a while you get a little lost in, I'm getting like I need to see this thing. I'm going to clean it up. I have a broken little piece there. That's very dark in there because it gets darker, really dark back there. And here, I think Frisket's gone there. Yeah, it's gone there. No. The heck is that? Oh, a little strand. Okay, so let's just try, like obviously the blue. I thought there was film there. Is there film there? No, that's paint. So obviously I've lost my, see I like to do it, like me turn this. This isn't gonna work too good, I got tape on here. Okay, so I like to have for the, let's see, I go that way. Get that, like that. Okay. I like to have it go with the curve of my hand. So I'm going to pick this guy back out again, hopefully. Try to lay the blade flat. If you feel it skipping, get another blade or go in the other direction. That's one. I've kind of gotten in there, and this one's kind of white, so I can go back to this one. Let's see how it goes down. Nope, it wants to go up. Doesn't want to go down. See? So I'm taking off what I put on because I need the contrast to be better. I need the right colors in there. But if I ruin the point of this or make it too fat like that, breaking away, there's not going to be a problem. Because first of all, the opaque paint wins in the end. It covers. These are not really pointy. These are kind of, looking at them close, they are pointy, but not all of them. So this one I'll go tip the blade a little bit more and get that to be a little more pointy. Yeah, I'll put a little point on that one too. But the one of them was like squared off. So I'm just, capturing what I lost, and I'm making them whiter than they need to be because I lost them. Some of them are going to be lost in the reddish, like it's really red. You can't see that one. Now pulling the blade down is not going to work. So I'm going to take this off here and flip it this way. Can you guys see that? Yeah, right? No. Let me back out too. Okay. Going up. I'm not too worried about, like I said, this one's ruined as far as scratching. See, it's too fat. But the green can come back. And when you want a dagger stroke, you can just kind of get in here and thicken the base like that. All my copies just fell. Okay, so this has been restored as far as how I'm going to go about that. And this, one more right here, just kind of make that a fatter one. And I'll make it pointier, just because I can always take it back. Now the blade's not working anymore, so you'd want to change that blade. But let's just take the green and see how we can come back at this area. Boy, does that feel like there's frisket on there, but it's because I cut a little bit. You know what? There was a piece of frisket on the little thorn there. That's what I was feeling. Yeah. Okay, so that's just a little. So even though I'm messing that up, I'm going to put the green in. I'm not going to try to get like frisket out and all that stuff. I'm just going to, and I'm going to use the airbrush. But you have to use probably your best bet is the Mylar shields. That will do the trick. I'm going to clean the airbrush out pretty good because it's got pink in it. It's got all kinds of colors. So if anybody's just coming on here and seeing a crooked painting, I'm turning the painting to the angle that I'm comfortable with this natural curve of the hand. That's what I'm doing. That's what I do for drawing. I think I'll put a little splat of Windex in there just to cut through. Micron has all new parts in it. As I said in the early part of the video, new needle. Hasn't had a new needle for a long time because of Sharpen Air, which is great. But I think it was Drew that was telling me that it was going to be. There's only so many times you can really sharpen it, and then I don't remember the number, but I know that it was quite a bit, you know. Okay, what are we at? 135? All right, so I'm going to take the green, put it in my color cut. Now my hair is real high because I was cleaning. Okay. So let's get just one of these little shields here. I'm going to be real careful here. Find the curve right there. Now I want volume, a little more, not that much. You can almost feel what you want so you don't splatter. Okay, so we're going to cut that like that. We're going to aim real careful. I'm going to put the opaque color back onto the thing. You can go to the back of it like that, leave a little white exposed, and you know, you're trimming it. You're making it come back to shape. You're also can clean up areas that you've sprayed paint on that needs to go away, like the reds. It just went there. This is darker in here, so I can kind of come in here. Let's just grab any straight shield. I got a whole drawer of them. All I need is a straight edge. This is from the space stuff, you know, that you can get with Drew's stuff. But I just need a straight edge, so I'm just gonna back out a little bit more. tried to. Oop, I came in. Okay. And I'm going to just protect the stem, sharpening. And that's what I'm going to do for the highlights and stuff. I was trying to cheat a little bit. And so just that one area sharpens up the whole thing. So let's go in close again, so you can really see what I'm trying to do. It's really kind of fuzzy and not too nice in there. So I'm just going to take the straight edge and I'm going to go between this. Did I go down onto? Yeah, I sure did. Putting the green back where it was. Here's a good place to do it because it's darker in there. Fixing up damage. Got chips from my finger, a little, So this is pretty dark, and I can just second coat it, turn on the air, dry it, second coat it. All my little chips are going away. But now I got to blend this out nicer, like that. And get in here closer. And here. Slowly but surely, you can fix anything you're messing up. That's really sharp in there now. And again, even more, I can see that. Now that's got, I thought there was film there, so I was spraying the blue. That's pretty straight, so let's just go with that. Yeah, I was spraying the blue there, not realizing it wasn't protected. I just made a green form. And now it's starting to sharpen up. Right in here. It's very dark. So let's get this shape right there. Air dry it. Dry that down so it can, and there's a little chip, a little scratch mark. So just like when I'm doing I'm doing the etching of this. Okay, bringing this back. Let's say you slipped. This is not wanting to go that way. Yeah, it wants to go that way. It's got a little piece of frisket on it. So I'm making it fatter than it really is. Let's just ruin it for a minute on purpose. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit because it's getting too out of focus. Okay, so I ruined that on purpose. So let's get the shield. You can really only do this with the OPEGs. It's kind of hard. Whoops. It's kind of hard because the transparents get darker and darker. So this is staying the same color. Down in the corner, 100%. I might have added a little more yellow into the green, but I can second coat the whole thing and get it all even. So yeah, like a damage. Like let's scratch that. I don't really have a fingernail. Let's see. It's pretty hardened from the week before, so let's just damage it again on purpose. Okay, so it's all damaged there, right? But it's an opaque mixture. So just come back at it, spray it slowly but surely. You can't just flood it on. You have to kind of dry it a little bit with the air. And eventually, you don't want to dig in like my little demo there. It's like, you don't want to destroy, dig into the surface. So it's still showing. So I'm just going to go back over it. It's gone. Virtually. This is nice and soft in here, so I'm going to just take the green and just spray mostly on, whoops. The chemical itself, whoops, I'm doing it, we'll take the paint off, watch. But don't fret it because my yellow is I still got a lot of yellow. So I'm damaging this kind of on purpose a little bit to you know, a little more than I wanted to right there, but it's okay. Yeah, I got a little bit too much, what do you call it? 40, yeah, too much 21. So, because I did that, I need to stir it more. I'm going to just kind of dab that. Now I've got the towel marks and maybe even a little lint. So, it doesn't matter that you're doing this to the painting. The rose is still okay. That got messed up a little, but these colors are covering colors. So I got that. I'll just second coat that right out. Sometimes you got to use correction colors. So I'm going to stir this. Get these paintbrushes that I have, dirty ones. Okay. So I'm stirring this up better because it probably was good, but you can put, it's better to put drops in than to go for it because you can get very watery and not what you wanted. And then you gotta deal with it. Okay. Here we go. Thanks for the likes, guys. I appreciate it. That really is like, it's a compliment, you know, saying so. And it also gives the video more, algorithms are better and stuff. Plus the artist really appreciates it. Any artist. You don't always have to say anything. You just, if you like it, you just like it, you know. So there's a textured surface. This is a nice creamy color that I can just second coat that over. So if you wanted to leave, it's still wet, so air dry that. So if you wanted to leave some, you know, texture and things, you can, but I don't want to leave any texture. So I'm just going to second coat it, third coat it, get close to the flower right here. Hopefully it won't be too liquidy. Better air dry it at this point. Because like I said, my mixture has a little bit of too much something in it. So let's take care of this guy who's been stretched to the limit. And let's cut back in. This is straighter on this side. We'll go to, no, it's got a curve. It's got a little curve to it. Oh, we got to block it that way. Getting there. It's hiding all the scratches. That's yellow. It gets painted yellow again. I'm using a pump stroke. So if you have one little dot like this, just a little speckle, you can stay in one area and just use a pump stroke like this, air on. It's gone. You might want to feather it out a little bit, but it's the same color, so nice. It's a nice thing to have. And the bottom is darker. I'm just going to feather it in till I'm happy with that blend again. Not flooding it on. Got a little ratty looking over here, so we're going to kind of blow it off this way. So let's turn this and see how things are shaping up without the film on. Now even I gotta sit back and look at it and also unzoom it. Okay, so let's get this more level with the angle of the desk. There we go. That's a better angle. It could be a little bit, but it's showing you how the realism is starting to come together. And the more I soften the edges, let's say right here, let's go in, and this is where you can take what you already have, all my edges that were filmed off, cut, and you could soften it, but you got to kind of go back and forth freehand. Get in real close with the micron, like that. Now, if that's a lighter area, I got to be careful, because otherwise I just brought darkness into an area that there's no darkness. So this squared off area here is not very nice looking. So I'm going to just kind of find out where I am with the pump stroke. Let's just try this. Oops, it's too watery. Because it's rickety there, it's not all even. So I can kind of change the shape of that, but it's blowing out on me. So we're just gonna, yeah, it's just too much 4D. So I went on to the flower there, and again, that can be fixed with a correction color. So, okay, here we go. We got the black. So let's sharpen that up. I mean, if I use the green, I'm just going to aim up. Black will go back over it. Soften it. Further away, you're safer. But it is black there. You could add a little color though, and it's your painting. You could put it where you want it, right? Again, I'll thicken that color up later. You saw how I'm doing it. So we're just going to kind of, just remember that and just add the same thing. This kind of has to go out here a little bit. This darker color, just a little bit right here and here. Just leaving the light in there still, and maybe a little bit more there. Then it's swirling kind of like that, except I zoomed in on you. So what I did was I was coming off this edge, adding a little bit. See, the screen is under that thing there still, so we're going to just bring it in a little bit more right there. Kind of captures underneath. Okay, so now I'm going to get the black. We got all that cleaned up. Yeah, I'll do better scratching out these guys when they're hardened and the paint goes through its little hardened, the time period. I don't know what the time period is. I should go on the website and find that out. But it's made on purpose to do that. I don't think I could get that green out of this green, so I'm not going to even try. I'm going to just put my yellow back in. What I'll do is I'll tweak this. I mean, I'm going to go another 10 minutes or so. Tweak it out and then show it on, the community wall and also the Facebook page, Instagram maybe. So I'll finish up with, I'll get that yellow back in there. Hopefully, and clean that up. Oh, yellow, where are you? Almost dropped it. because I left the lid off, now the yellow is starting to it's starting to get a little gunky. So, okay, so we're going to stir that around a little bit and get the yellow with one drop this time of the 4021, one drop. Boink. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if that's enough. Touching up. I don't know if I have enough in the cup, but let's try it. Oh, the gun's clean. Yeah. It might be too watery. Let's just go this way from a distance. It's cleaning it up a little bit, but no, it's too watery. It's starting to run. So you can see that this is going to have a green dude going through there. I don't really see any yellow in the flower. Maybe I could put a little more here and then put red over it, and it'll be brighter under there. And a little bit more over here, yellow, and then the red. So let's try that, and we'll end it with just the black at the top, I guess, and that'll be it. Okay, this is red right out of the bottle, so I'm going to go right into there and get that to be lit up like that. Where else does it do it? You know, you could hit some areas very carefully. Oh yeah, I didn't want that as chalky, so just tint over it with the red. Knock it back till I like it. That's looking better. A little bit more. There we go. Here. And freehand here. I want the stark red to come out, so I gotta be careful. That's better highlight than it was, that's for sure. See how you can see through that one, and a little tint on there, a little highlight here. Stronger red right into here. Tint over the whole pink just a little bit, just like that. I have a black on the background, so I'll just knock that back. Tint over the pink, just knocking it back into the painting. I'll put more burgundy there. And let's bring a little color under here. Whoops, went a little too far. Make it a little stronger just right there. Okay. And then I have to soften it. Okay. So, for what it's worth, you can see that these guys are going to light up. So let's just do a little right here. Come on now. Tip dry. Taking my time because I don't know how strong it's going to come out. There we go. I got to light that up a lot better. I got to mix a color for that because these guys are going to be red, sort of pinkish, but I'm missing, so I got to be careful. A little red on here. Just a little hit here and a hit at the top of that red. On here. Just a little coming off there and leave the pink. Got a little too saturated there. But it is pretty nice at the bottom, so I'll just kind of look at it later and see what I want to mess around with. Okay, here's the last thing I'm going to do. Going a little over time. No, not yet. This shouldn't take nothing. I want to sharpen that up there and kill the edges a little bit. So I'm going to take black, take the brand new cup, take my black, and I'm going to have a little bit of the reducer in there. Or you could do distilled water. I just want it to move smoothly, atomize nicely. I think I might have went a little too much there, so I'm going to put more in. Wasting a little paint, but that's all right. And just stir it around. Just pure black, nothing fancy, because that's what's at the top of the painting. Black. Red's still coming out of the gun, but here we go. Yeah, it's painting pretty smoothly. So let's just come up in here and hold the shield off and deflect it so it's like a raised shield. You get a soft edge on both sides then. Here it kind of goes this way. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see it's a trade-off between the two lines, you know, between the... Okay, hopefully that will be good. Outlining it a little bit, pushing further away from the flower. Got a little bit on it, so I'll just use a shield here, and I will get the curve that I need, and just kind of raise the curve a little bit, and see if I can cut into that a little bit more. Yep. Now I just fill it in. And it gets grayer as it goes, so I'll just stay over here. Freehand that one, air dry it. Okay, so you can kind of see how I'm softening the edges. This will be, this is like a, am I showing that part? Yeah. Kind of like, it reminds me of a walnut or something. Whoops, I went a little bit too much on the green. Now I'm going down onto the stem, and then I'm going to come off here a little, it's kind of round in there. I'll clean that up with the green. It's back and forth, back and forth. There's blacker in here. Got a lot of air on there, sorry. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do to the edges. I'm going to go back and forth with that kind of thing. And I know a lot of people were on a little while ago, but it's a long video, so I'm going to say good evening, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Okay, so let's take this out of its holder just for fun. Let's see if I don't kill the live feed. Show you my mess that I kind of have here. Whoops. Okay, so there's the mat for cutting. There's my painting. There's my mess down below. Not good. I always supposed to put lids back on, but there's my straight edge shield I use. There's the tape I use. There's my little strips to practice mixing colors on. And there's some frisket up there blowing around. And got this going on over here. This is what's going on. All kinds of goodies. All kinds of goodies in here. But, okay guys, there's the other desk. Drew's painting, his poster of one of his beautiful military paintings that he's done. And there's my sunset down there. T-shirt over there. It's a little tour here. There's the compressor. And what else we got here? My trays are over here. There's Mr. Grinch over there. Right through the tape. Tape was stabilizing my phone. And yeah, and so that's my studio. It's a mess right now. I brought some paperwork out from clearing off another desk. Clear off one desk to make a mess on the other. And so I got all kinds of paperwork on my two motors silent air. So, all right, guys. There's my mommy up there. And that is my studio. There's my fan. Nice, huh? Okay. Don't forget my jets. So, heat distortion. Okay. Fred. Mr. Fred Flintstone. And back to the painting. And there it is. So good night. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for the likes. Share this if you want. And thank you for the comments and everything. Roy, hello. I see Patty said hi to Roy. I haven't been seeing the comments. I'm sorry. I'm kind of halfway looking at them. Michael McClung and all you guys. JC, Michael, Dan, Todd, Venus. Oh, yeah. Nice amount of people. Okay, and I'm sure there's been people here that I didn't know. Okay, good night. God bless you guys. Take care. See, when it's not in the holder, I can't make the live feed end. There we go. Are you sure you want to end it? Yeah, I'm tired.